Hello students, today we will be doing another experiment using Weka, that is clustering. Now what is a cluster? Clustering is an approach for finding the groups of similar instances in a dataset. For our example, we will be using simple k-means clustering in Weka. Now the sample dataset is again a bank data. This bank data is already being pre-processed. Now, as a part of pre-processing, the attribute ID is being removed and attribute children is being made as categorical attribute with values or yes or no. Now, let's start with the experiment. Click on Explorer. In the Pre-Process tab, open the file, navigate to the directory where the data file is placed. In case it is a CSV data, in the file of type, select CSV. Now, in case the pre-processing is not being done, we can perform it using the various filters and we have seen in our previous lecture. For now, we assume that the pre-processing of the data is already being done. After loading of the data, go to the cluster tab. Now let's select an algorithm for clustering. So click on choose. Now search for simple k-means algorithm. Select simple k-means algorithm. Now in case we want to change the default parameters of simple k-means, click on simple k-means text box. Now here we can change various attributes. The first is the distance function. Now distance function is the one which is being used to identify whether an instance belongs to cluster 1 or cluster 2 or cluster 3. So we can use either the Euclidean distance or the Manhattan distance. So here we are assuming that we are applying the Euclidean distance to all the instances. The only change which we are making to these default settings is to the number of clusters. Now let's for example say that we need 6 clusters. Now the seed value which is there on the screen, this is used for generating a random number. Now this random number is helpful for making the initial or the first step assignment of instances to the cluster. So once all the changes are being done to the window, click OK. There is one important point to note here is that k-means is very sensitive to how the clusters are initially being assigned. So by trying with the different values of number of clusters and to the value which is being assigned to the seed, we can try different results and evaluate the results. Now once all the options have been specified, we can now run the clustering algorithm. For this, click Start. In the right hand side panel, we can view the cluster output. It shows us the 6 instances as cluster 0, which has 97 instances or records. Cluster 1 has 142 records. Cluster 2 is assigned 65 records. Cluster 3 is assigned 81 records. Similarly, cluster 4 with 122 records and cluster 5 with 93 records. So this is our run information or the output. Now in case we want to see this output in a separate screen, click on simple k-means, right click and select view in a separate window. Now here we can analyze the result. Now if you analyze closely, you can see that they have mentioned the centroid for each cluster. Now centroid of the cluster is nothing but the mean vector for each of the cluster. Now these centroids are being used as a main representative for the cluster, or they can be used to characterize the cluster. Now for example, cluster number 1, it has all the middle-aged people around the age of 49, and all these people are female, and the region in which they live is inner city. Income is around 33,232. They are married. They have children. No car. Savings account. Current account. No mortgage. So this is the centroid which defines the attributes of this particular cluster as to which all instances are there. So it is defining the properties of whatever instances belong to this cluster. So this is all about the simple K-means algorithm. Thank you.